I'd have to say that the blockbusters that are hitting in summer are have been very, very interesting. This actually has been a very exciting, very fun summer to go see movies. There's a bunch of sequels that have actually been pretty good. There hasn't been that many bad movies. I mean, that's an improvement. But I think before this whole summer blockbuster began, there were three movies that I was incredibly hyped for. The Avengers, which I saw twice, The Dark Knight Rises, and then there's today's feature, which is Prometheus. Prometheus is a sci-fi thriller, horror sort of type of movie that's produced and directed by Ridley Scott and stars Noomi Rapace. I think that's how her name is pronounced. Michael Fassbender, Charlize Theron, and a few other people. And they were all really good. And let me tell you, I went into that movie expecting that it was going to be awesome. I did not think that Ridley Scott could disappoint me. I mean, he directed Alien, the original, the very first Alien. He also directed Blade Runner. He done movies like Gladiator, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's really hard to say a bad Ridley Scott movie. There are people that could contest that maybe, some of his movies have been compared to his other stuff. But Prometheus, it came with such a huge buzz because there's been a long time since we've seen a sci-fi thriller. I mean, a really good sci-fi thriller. A little bit of elements of horror, but let me first give you a little brief synopsis. The main story is about the crew of the ship, the Prometheus, and basically, early in the movie, they make a discovery in which pretty much just puts this entire project to go, which is basically that they're trying to they believe that aliens not only exist, but they might have actually created humans. Now, that's a giveaway from the early trailers of what it could be. I'm not going to say whether it is or not. So basically, the team is led by Noomi Rapace's character, Dr. Elizabeth Shaw, and her male assistant. I am afraid I don't remember his name, but I have to say that it's very impressive because the ship basically goes on into space for 2 years and it reaches its destination, and from there they believe they're going to discover what they believe is the origin of the human race. But what they find there is really much, much worse. Now, Charlize Theron is also in this movie, but she's supposed to be like, it's confusing what she is in this movie. Apparently, she has an agenda, a hidden agenda, but she's not the captain. We're given this thought to believe during the trailers that she's the captain, but no, she's not the captain. But it is. She's a very cold. She's very strict. She's almost robotic to a point. There's even a point in the movie where the captain actually asks her, "Is she a robot?" And really interesting what turns up after that scene. But I have to say that overall, early, points for the movie, I'd have to say that I really, really liked this movie. I really liked that this movie was original. I mean, a lot of people were saying it's a prequel to Alien. It's an origin story. It's not a prequel. It's a completely different story apart from Alien. Seeing this movie, it does confirm that it is within the alien realm, but I'm not gonna say how. Um, but as for it being a prequel, I'd have to definitely see the original Alien movie again, just to be sure. But because that was like a movie I've seen like a long, long time ago. Um, but yeah, it's original because it's not based off of a book. It's not based off of a game. It's not based off of a TV show. It's not based off of a children's TV show. It's really original. And Ridley Scott, amazing job. He does the sci-fi better than most anyone that does it currently today. And he had been out of the game for like a long, long time. So I like the special effects. I love how even with the special effects, there are still really good sets. I mean, the Prometheus ship is really awesome. Um, another thing I really liked about this movie was Michael Fassbender's role. He is the android. He's the bishop. He's the one that supposedly doesn't have a personality, doesn't have feelings, emotions, but at the same time, you're sort of seeing him go through this like metamorphosis, but at the same time, you're confirmed so many times that he's a robot and he cannot develop human emotions or feelings. So you're left wondering, did he really develop them? Is he just as stoic as ever and he's just trying to be human? But during this entire ordeal, when they arrive, when they first infiltrate, there's a devious dark side to even before the bad things start hitting the fan. But let me tell you something. This is a very, very, really awesome sci-fi movie. It's really, really well done, well shot. The story was really interesting as well. You're sort of given like this. Sort of feels like this whole entire movie is like a morsel, and you want more of it. But I guess that's sort of like a confirmation that it is sort of like a prequel or a setup to what could be maybe the readaptation of the Alien franchise. The Alien franchise has really seen a downhill spiral since Alien Resurrection. It's really just gone downhill. Even Alien 3 was much better. So this movie might have brought this series back to life. I don't think that they'll go all the way back to like the xenomorphs. I don't know, but it is a very interesting movie. Numi Rapace was really good. She was very, very dramatic, very like visceral. She's like a woman with faith. But at the same time, she's trying to discover the origin of life, but she still has faith in the beyond. So you're sort of seeing her character like develop and change and build courage and get brought down. And it's very interesting how she portrays this role, because I loved her in the original adaptation of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Then I saw her in the second Sherlock Holmes movie, and you know what? Even though she's not the most attractive actress, she's definitely in my top 30. But it's glad to see that she can, you can, like, get appreciate her for her acting, and she does a really well job. Negatives, there really aren't that. There really aren't that. Maybe there's like not negatives, but maybe just two things. When I saw the trailers, I thought we're gonna get like more of a horror feel. This is more like more sci-fi, more about discovery, more about science, more about telling a story than trying to scare you. And I think that pretty much did those sort of like the Alien movies also in a way, but I think those were more based on a, trying to be a thriller as well. So maybe they did tone back down a bit, but when it does hit, it hits really good. I guess what I'm trying to say is that we've come to expect better whenever we see movies like these, and this was a very, very. It felt like an origin story. It felt like you didn't want it to get too much to you, because if there is more, you're going to get more, like really more. And I can't think of another gripe. I guess I could say that maybe like the characters, that you see, the characters that you see in this movie. You've seen them before in other movies, but that are in sci-fi, especially they're sort of like characters that you would expect from an Alien movie. And but in spite of like the countdown of the characters, including the red shirts, the a-hole, the medic professional, the cold-hearted one, the spirit, the Ripley. There's some. It feels like you're watching a Ridley Scott movie, but I really enjoyed it. And it does leave me wanting for more a little bit. But you know what? That's only probably. I think it's probably because I enjoyed it a lot. I'd give Prometheus. I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5, because it is a really, really good movie, but at the same time, I think it needed a dial a little bit more. I think the dial was set to 9, so it needed to set it an extra bit to 10, and I think that might have actually been the difference. But there really isn't much bad to say about this movie. The movie, I enjoyed it. I recommend it to everybody. It's probably the second best movie I've seen in the summer so far, and Avengers is still in the main spot, because I just can't remember how much fun I've had. The last time I had this much fun, when I watched the Avengers. But there are more movies, and I am expecting to get to see The Dark Knight Rises on opening night. I will definitely go see it. Oh yeah. So if you want to leave any comments about what you thought about Prometheus, things that we're missing, maybe things that you agree or disagree from what I've just said, leave comments below. And you know what? If you haven't seen Prometheus, go see Prometheus. Go see Prometheus. Don't read the reviews. Don't try to get yourself hyped for Prometheus. Just go see Prometheus. Don't build any expectations. Just go in it saying this is going to be a sci-fi movie, and if you do that, I think you're going to so totally enjoy it. Don't expect it to be an Alien movie. Don't expect it to be perfect. But what it is, it's really good. So, thank you all for watching, and now I'm going to go ahead and check on my part 2 video of E3 impressions. It's uploading now, but for now, as always, if you like what you see here, subscribe, and if you have any movies you'd like me to see, make a recommendation and I'll try to get around them. See ya.